It's Bryant Johnson, Adams State football, and James Ackel as we wrap up Grizzly Connect this week. This is scary. I always get nervous talking to you. You're not very outspoken. You don't like to talk. You don't have any Southern California bravado at all. I mean, how should we direct this interview? Do you have something you'd like to talk about? Because I always get nervous with you.
If I had to start this off, so we're going to go win the next 5 games this year. We're going to end this season as the best record at Adams State seen in Division II, and then you can take it from here.
All right. Well, that's a good starting point. ASC just picked up their first conference win of the year against New Mexico Highlands a week ago. Overtime victory, 30-24. And the schedule is favorable, as it always is after these first 4 games, which are brutal every year. But Highlands, it was something else. It was something else for fans. It was something else for the broadcasters. But as a player on the field at Perkins Stadium with everything surrounding that game, how would you explain everything that went down over those 4+ quarters?
I felt like I was back home again, to be honest with you. That's how it felt when I was playing back home in Southern California. A lot of trash talking going on back and forth. I felt like that team liked to trash talk more than they liked to win, and we like to win more than we like to trash talk, and it came out in overtime. So we pulled it out, but fans were pretty brutal. They were saying some stuff to some kids on the sidelines, and it was hard for everyone not to react. And after the game, they're pretty devastated. So they weren't really into the whole nice part of the aspect of the game, so in the best way of manner. So, I mean, it was a hostile environment, and we came out with the win, so that's all that mattered.
Most of the kids on the team are from California. The 45 JC kids are all from California, and I was on the field before, and they knew you and Glenn Pettis and a lot of the LA guys. When the familiarity exists and they're not treating you in a respectful manner, how do you maintain your focus during a game?
It's just part of the game. I mean, like I said, I grew up that way, so I learned trash talking from a get-go. It's something I carry with me on the field all the time. But, I mean, I tried to limit it that game because I didn't want it to turn into anything more, even though that's what I was leaning towards. And it was hard not to say stuff back to them. Those kids were pretty consistent with their words. So we pulled together on the sidelines. We went down early, 14-0. And decided that the win's more important than what they have to say. So when we came together as a team, we finally went and pulled it out.
James Ackel, the ASC football team, chatting with us. This isn't HBO, because then I could get the full version. If we were to Disneyize this, and I don't even know if that term exists, but let's Disneyize some of the trash talking that you would typically share with an opponent. I am making inappropriate statements about you, your family, and Riverside, California in general. How would you respond to a foe like me?
I don't think there's any Disney eyes for that. That doesn't go PG on the field. And thankfully it's not basketball where everyone can hear it. So we're down there and we get saying some stuff that probably shouldn't be said. But, yeah, I don't know. I can't turn that into any other terms.
Well, they remember you after the basketball game. James, of course, was the instigator in taking about 50 ASC football players and moving them to the southeast corner of Plackey Hall when New Mexico Highlands was trying to win a big playoff game against ASC. But they go 1-2 from the free throw line after you move down. Game goes to double overtime, and ASC wins. That's the stuff that you don't get recruited to do, but that makes a huge impression on the basketball team and the community. It would take us back to that moment when you just decided, get up, we're moving, let's go get in this kid's head.
Well, we knew our boys' men's team really wanted to win that game. We were there supporting them in the playoffs. It's been since I've been here, it's been the first time they've been in the playoffs, and we were excited for them. And those players talked almost as much trash to us as we did to them from the court, so we decided we'd try to give him a little extra and run down the far end of the court and yell in the guy's face while he was shooting a free throw, and he ended up missing. And then I believe Shiar hit a 3 to win it, and that was pretty. They actually responded after the game, tried coming up into the fans, but that would have been a bad idea for them. It wasn't one basketball player against 50 football players wouldn't end it so nice. He had to pay a little more for a hospital bill or something like that.
Yeah, and you guys hadn't been playing in 4 months. I'm sure you had a lot of pent-up anxiety. Shiar's 3 sent it to overtime, and ASC 1. Highlands must hate you. I mean, let's be honest. After what happened last year in the 55-0 win in football, then in the double overtime thriller in basketball, and now you get a 2-point conversion and a 9-yard touchdown run to end the game in overtime. There's no way we can label you as a safety, as a linebacker, as a rover, because you've been able to step in. When did it become apparent that the coaching staff had bigger plans for you in special teams as a punt returner and with the possibility of a Wildcat quarterback?
The Wildcat stuff just came on this year. I mean, they came. Actually, I found out from my teammates. I didn't even find out from the coaches. I came out of a meeting one day, and they were like, "Welcome to offense." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I don't even know what that means." So then they told me out at practice what I was going to start doing. But over the summer when I stayed here, working out with players and everything, they said that we were going to start doing some kick return, punt return stuff. Actually, when I got recruited here, that's what I was doing, was punt return and kick return. But I had to step in as a safety and start right away as a freshman. So they didn't let me do any of that stuff. They probably were a little scared, I think. I don't know.
Well, now all the fun exists for James Ackel as a junior. It was such a exciting and exhilarating play, especially for the coaching staff who was upstairs in the press box. Justin Holland ran out while we were still on the air, whacked me on my backside, and yelled out, "How'd you like that play call?" as all of Highland's SIDs and ADs were sulking. So it was a pretty fun moment just to watch Coach Holland revel in the victory. When you were on the sideline, you watched Turgeon Saffold run for 16 yards. It's 1st and goal at the 9. You've just forced a fumble on defense, so any points win the game. You're on the sideline, and then what happens?
They sent me in. The play was an option call. It wasn't just a Wildcat run. It was an option. And get to the huddle, and all the players are surrounded. And just like, don't pitch the ball, don't pitch the ball. we need to just win this. We need to win this one. We need the points. I was like, I'm not. You thought I came in here to pitch it anyways? I'm keeping it. Like, you guys are dumb. So I went. And I told him once I touch the ball, I'm going to score. So it happened. And I was pretty excited to score. And everyone said I should have had a better celebration, but I was too excited. I didn't know what to do with myself. So.
What was Turgeon's reaction when this conversation is going on in the huddle and you're saying, listen, it's an option call, but he's not getting it?
Yeah. Turgeon was still saying the same thing, don't pitch it, just keep the ball. And I guess everyone's plan worked. So
here you are having a great year defensively, but for whatever reason there seems to be this really presumptuous attitude towards rovers that, well, you're not good enough to be a safety, you're not good enough to be a linebacker, it's an improvised position, and that might not be the case, but when you look at certain awards that are handed out and accolades, rovers tend to get ignored if there's a player at a true position that is putting up similar numbers. How do you feel the reputation of the rover exists?
I feel like everyone has mixed emotions about it. Yeah, you're more in the box, but you're considered a safety because you have to cover a deep half. I like the position. I moved to rover safety this year because I wanted to play more of a true safety position for myself. I like being on the hashes more often, in cover 2, and get to come down full speed and hit people rather than playing as a linebacker and only taking a couple steps and meeting people in the hole. I think it fits my playing personality a little better. I like to be able to have more freedom to run around the field. I missed free safety because when I was a freshman, that's what I played, and then rover. I had a great time at it last year, and this year I'm playing rover safety, so I think it's a better fit for me. But for Jake Long, who's playing the rover position now, he's doing a good job at it. I mean, he's probably going to get the same critics that I did about the position, but I don't know. I think the way that Coach Heaton puts the rover in the right position to make the plays, though, it doesn't matter what anyone says because that position still makes a lot of plays on the field regardless.
What is your playing personality? You mentioned you have to have a certain playing personality. If you had to describe who you think you are and what your personality is on the field, what would it be?
I feel like I'm a mix between Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu into one. So I like to come down, hit people, but I like to ball hawk and make turnovers, just big plays. I like making big plays. I need to get more of those this year. I haven't had too many myself, but defensively at least I need to start making some more big plays. But my attitude is I always want to be the playmaker on the team at all times, and everyone fits their role, and I feel like we have a non-stop run stopper in Rocco in our D-line. I feel like we have a person that covers the field like Will Noss and locks down a side like Fabrice Nolan, and I feel like I'm the big play guy. So I got to go out and start making more big plays. We haven't had that lately, but that's what I feel like my personality is.
Defense has been incredible. They hold New Mexico Highlands to -8 yards in the third quarter, 32 in the second half. This was a team that was averaging 499 yards a game offensively. ASC held them to almost half their total that they had been able to retrieve coming into that game. It starts with Western New Mexico. We'll have the pregame show in a few minutes, but since we have you here, you take on another team that's been a surprise. It's got a 3-1 conference record. They played San Diego great. They went and took on an FCS team from the Pioneer League and played them really well. Another school that has a lot of West Coast transfers and probably familiarity with guys that you remember from back home. What's the biggest test with the Mustangs?
They're a really balanced offense. They like to go out and throw the ball. They feel like their quarterback's their best player. He runs and throws quite a bit. They'll quarterback draw him. They'll run a read zone with him, kind of like Kearney did, kind of like Highlands did. But our biggest test with them is just going to be having to play sound defense and recognize formations, basically. We're going to have to know what they're coming out trying to do, and we're going to have to stop it. And I think Coach Ian puts us in a good position to do our job.
James, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
James Ackel with the ASC football team.